I'm Mary, one of your librarians at the Kinney County Library, and this is a book recommendation video. It's fall, the perfect time of year to snuggle up under a blanket and read a book, or listen to a book while you're outside raking leaves. We have the newest book in the Bad Guys series called The One. It's number 12 in the series, and we have it as both an ebook and as a physical book in the libraries. We have the newest Diary of a Wimpy Kid book called The Deep End. We have it as both an ebook and an e-audiobook and a physical book in the libraries. We have the new Princess in Black book called The Giant Problem. We have it as both an ebook and an e-audiobook and of course as a physical book in the libraries. We have the new Babysitters Club graphic novel called Logan Likes Mary Ann, and we have this as an ebook and as a physical book in the libraries. And we have the newest Riordan book, which is the 5th book in the Trials of Apollo series, and it is called The Tower of Nero, and we have this as both an ebook and a book on CD and a physical book in the libraries. Now I have a bunch more books I want to talk to you about. We have Tristan Strong Destroys the World by Kwame and Mbalia. This is the second book. The first one was Tristan Strong Punches a Hole in the Sky, and it is a wonderful, wonderful duo of books. This takes place a month after the first book, and someone called the Shamble Man comes and kidnaps Tristan's grandmother. So Tristan has to go back to Alki, which is still recovering from his last visit. And he has to save his grandma, he has to save Alki, and he has to save his home world. These books weave West African and African American lore and legend together so beautifully. There's constant action, completely hilarious moments, and then there's even a few times that it rips your heart out. They're wonderful, long stories that you get super involved in, and you're always sad that the book is over. We have this book available as an ebook and an e-audiobook, and available as a physical book in the libraries. These books are recommended for grades 3 to 8. And when I say that they're recommended for certain grades, you don't have to be in those grades to read them. It's just so you kind of have an idea what to expect from the stories. Next we have Class Act by Jerry Craft. This book is the sequel to New Kid, and it's recommended for grades 4 to 8. We have this book as an ebook on Libby as well as a physical book in the libraries. You keep following Jordan, Drew, and Liam as they go through a whole new school year. Each is coming at life from a different background and a different living situation. The first book focused on Jordan, and now we're going to follow Drew around more. And we're going to see why he says that he always has to work twice as hard to go half as far. I love this book because it shows such different ways of life and how each guy's home life affects their everyday existence. And now we have 3 Keys by Kelly Yang. This is the sequel to Front Desk, and it's recommended for grades 3 to 7. We have this book as both an ebook and an e-audiobook and as a physical book in the libraries. This book is historical fiction, meaning the time and situation are based on real events, but the details are all made up. Mia's feeling pretty great after the stuff that's happened in the first book, and she's really excited to be working at her parents' hotel with her friend Lupe. But then a vote comes up that might make it so illegal immigrants can't be attending public school and getting other public services, which would affect both Mia and Lupe and other people that they know. And during all this, they have to deal with racism and xenophobia and hate crimes and so much more. Doesn't it sound kind of crazy that there'd be a vote to possibly kick a bunch of kids out of school? But this actually happened in California in the 90s. With everything that's going on, I assure you this book is not a downer. I loved reading about how Mia and her family and her friends all worked through everything. And I am so glad that this book is around for people to read, especially for you to read. Next we have this wonderful book called Letters from Cuba by Ruth Behar. We have this book available as an ebook, as an e-audiobook, and as a physical book at the libraries. And it's recommended for grades 3 to 7. This is another historical fiction book. So it's based on true events, but the details of the things that happened in the book are actually made up. Esther and her father moved from Poland to Cuba during World War II and worked really hard to earn enough money to be able to bring the rest of their Jewish family to Cuba. They love the island, it's wonderful living there, but they do also have to deal with some Nazi sympathizers. I loved getting to know Esther and her family and getting to know more about Cuba. This story is based on the actual experiences of the author's grandmother, which makes it even more interesting to me. And now we have A Whale of the Wild by Roseann Parry. We have this book available as an ebook and an e-audiobook and as a physical book in the libraries. And it's recommended for grades 3 to 7. This book is about orca whales. What? It's awesome, I promise you. Vega is training to become the matriarch of her pod, so she'll end up being the one who leads everybody around to find food. She's not great at it, but she's got time, right? She does not have time. because an earthquake and then a tsunami tear Vega and her brother away from the rest of the pod. And now they have to find their way back to them! Who cares? It's just whales swimming around, right? Wrong. There is so much to deal with! Pollution murking up the water, people stuff like houses now floating around in the water, noise pollution that makes it so they can't hear other whale calls, ships, sharks, and more. I never thought about what happens under the water during a tsunami. And I appreciate the journey that the orcas had to go on to find their family. I hope some of these books have piqued your interest, and I hope you get to snuggle up and read some books, or go outside and rake and listen to some books, or however you like to read. Don't forget that you can download the Blabey app to get your free ebooks and e-audiobooks. Thank you so much for joining me. Bye!